Hey everyone, Tim from Your Notified Reads here. I put up a poll the other day on my Instagram, and enough of you voted that you'd like to see some BookTube content. So here I am on BookTube content. As you can see, I'm in my library, and I have a live studio audience of exactly 2 cats. So I thought it would be a good time to kind of introduce myself and my type of style of reading, the genres I want to read. It's mainly going to be fantasy and sci-fi. I have a stack of books next to me, and it's going to be kind of my Sci-Fi September TBR. There's one that I've already started. I'm kind of halfway through, and then the rest, we'll see how many I get through. It's a very ambitious TBR, however. Without further ado, the first book I have is Adrian Tchaikovsky's Cage of Souls. This is very excellent so far. I'm about, like I said, a little halfway through. I don't know if a lot of people would consider it sci-fi. I think he considers it sci-fi. I consider it sci-fi. And it's about this person. I'll read Dust Jacket just to give the best example. The sun is bloated, diseased, dying, perhaps. Beneath his baneful light, shade wrapper, last of all cities, shatter apart, last of all cities harbors fewer than 100,000 human souls built on the ruins of countless civilizations. Sadrapar is a museum, midden, an asylum, a prison, on a world that is ever more alien to humanity. That's kind of the first paragraph, and the main character is sent there to prison, and it's about his adventures on the planet, on the island. It's so far very good. I'm looking forward to the ending, and this came just regular Amazon order, a third-party Amazon order, and I was surprised with a signed copy. I don't have many signed copies, but I'm happy that this was surprised and happy to get. The next one's my next read guaranteed, and that is The Ice Ghost by Kathleen O'Neill Geer. I believe that's how you say her last name. This is the sequel to The Ice Lion, which was very good. I think I gave it about 4.5 stars. The characters are really good. I think that's why I like it a lot. Usually my favorite reads are more plot driven, but the characters are so good in this. And so I am looking forward to reading this. I'm not going to say too much about it, much more about it, just because it is a sequel. The Ice Lion is worth a read. It's sci-fi. It takes place in the distant future, I believe, and the second Ice Age hit, and we're following characters trying to survive the second Ice Age. The next books are going to be in no particular order. I'm going to try and prioritize the shorter books first, kind of bump up the total for the month, and then get back to the longer towards the end of the month, and hopefully get through. This list is about 10 books long. I think I read about 7 or 8 last month, so I'm hoping I can get to most of these. The next is Isaac Asimov's The Foundation. I've got this brilliant, simplistic, beautiful looking collection of all 3. I don't know if I'll read all 3 or just the first one, and then kind of pick this back up when I want to read the second and the third one. But I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm trying to read more classics. I read The Expanse once a month from September of last year to April of this year, and I'm kind of trying to use that model as a classic a month, so I'm hoping that this will be my classic of the month for the month of September. We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. I held off on reading this for a while, and then I saw books 2 and 3 in a used bookstore in my state, a really well-known one in the state, and I immediately was like, I guess I'm reading We Are Legion, We Are Bob. So if I remember correctly, this is about a guy who has his brain or his personality cryogenically frozen or uploaded into a computer, and he wakes up in the distant future, and everyone's gone, a couple hundred years in the future, and everyone's gone. He's AI for a ship. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't read a lot of self-published books, but this has been highly touted, and in Sci-Fi September, this is probably one I will prioritize just based on the length. But I'm really looking forward to it. Next we have Breaking Day by Adam Oh, I'm not going to pronounce the last name. I apologize. I'm not going to try and butcher it. I'm not going to butcher it. I will butcher it. This kind of intrigued me as like a space opera. Someone, try and just one standalone sci-fi read, and it's short. It's, I think, 350, 360 pages, and I'm trying to prioritize shorter books this month. My TBR is way too long. It's a lot of the sci-fi that's on my TBRs on this list. Next we have Megan O'Keefe's Velocity Weapon. This has always intrigued me as kind of like The Expanse in that I think it's a space opera. I read The Martian earlier this year. I'm looking for more space sci-fi. On the back of the book says, the last thing Sandra remembers is her gunship breaking up around her as her evac pod expanded, stealing her away for salvage medics to pick up. She expected to awaken in friendly hands, patched up, and patched back into a new gunship. Instead, she wakes up 230 years later on an empty enemy smart ship. The light of Barosis, or as she prefers to call it, Barrow. The war is lost, the star system is dead. I have the sequel up on my top shelf of my library, and I'm looking forward to this. Probably towards the end of the month. I'm trying to do only the first book of a series, and I'm hoping and assuming I'm going to like all of them, and I'll probably pick them back up in October or November. Next we have Bob Hart's The Paradox Hotel. I held off on picking this up for a while, and then I saw a review on YouTube, and it was a raving review, and I was like, I'll pick it up. This one is about, I think, time traveling detective trying to solve a mystery, and time travel sci-fi fits right in. It's another quick one. It's another one that's about 300-ish pages. I should open up to 295 towards the back, so it's another short one. Hopefully this be a quick weekend read, or maybe like a start of the week read. Next up, the penultimate, as writers or former writers, college writers like I used to be, would say. Alistair Reynolds, Revelation Space. I've heard so many good things about Alistair Reynolds. I don't really know where to start. When I did research on it, Revelation Space was one of them. I think he has a few standalones that you could try first, and if you don't like his writing, you can kind of abandon it. My understanding and my philosophy is more philosophy than understanding. My philosophy is, if I'm going to read a book and I don't like book one, I'm not going to continue with the series. So I don't mind starting book one. If I don't like it, just drop it and not read the rest of the series. I have no issue with that. I try not to DNF books. There's very rare exceptions, but I will DNF a series, and I've heard so many good things about this. I need a good space opera in my life. I've read all 9 books of The Expanse. I need something to fill its hole. And the last book I have on my overly ambitious Sci-Fi September TBR is Neil Stephenson's Termination Shock. I found a signed copy. That's why I picked it up. Very, very much only picked it up because it was a signed copy. I do like Neil Stephenson. I read Sevens by him, and I liked it back when I was not as strong of a reader as I am now. I've gotten stronger as I've read more post-college. So I read Sevens, and it was 700 pages long, and it felt like a toll, but I was enjoying it. And now that I read every day, and I don't have any other obligations after work or anything, I come home and I read if I didn't listen to audiobook at work. Neil Stephenson's not as intimidating anymore, so I'm giving this a shock. It's another Sci-Fi novel. I really like The Ice Ghost. I'm assuming I'm going to like The Ice Lion. If I like The Ice Lion I read, I'm assuming I'm going to like The Ice Ghost, because I like The Ice Lion. So I'm going to give more Sci-Fi a chance, and hopefully, get through it and enjoy it. It's probably going to be towards the end of the month, because it is a massive beast. This will probably be the last book I read, but I am going to try and get to that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's kind of an impromptu, unscripted TBR video. kind of introduce myself to you guys. More videos will be coming, more TBRs, more book calls, more hopefully scripted content. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.